I think on environmental, the biggest changes really have been an awareness of your carbon footprint, an awareness of road miles, in terms of moving stuff along supply chains, and also on packaging. There's a real desire now to be much more clever with packaging, use less and certainly avoid any single-use plastics. I think the undone piece on the environment and retailing is the kind of global supply chains piece, and the focus now that's coming onto the carbon footprint of ocean freight, and the fact that you're importing a lot of consumer goods from the Far East, and people becoming more aware of the reach that has. I think in terms of environmental consciousness, I think the big thing for consumers now is the real push back to the retailers and the manufacturers from the consumers about packaging. So less packaging, the ability to start to buy loose again, as people did way back in the 50s and 60s in grocery. If you look, some of the supermarkets now are doing where you can bring your own container and have your fish or your meat or your cheese put into your container to avoid any form of single-use packaging, and that trend will continue. So people looking for more and more minimal packaging and much less throwaway. I think the changes in the environmental space will be post-pandemic. I think there'll be quite a lot of review of global supply chains and where you're sourcing from, because we've seen that as the virus spread and as variants came up, different borders closed, lockdowns in different countries at different times, and international freight just became frankly harder. So I think there'll be a bit of a retrenchment on where we produce from, how much stock is held at various points along the supply chain, and I think increasingly there will be a lot more localization, not to say nationalism, in supply chains. And I think people will look now more at provenance and at local, and look at the benefit that will have as well to their environmental footprint.